Hi, my name is Tracy Collette. I'm a swim teacher and coach in the Atlanta area with 30 plus years experience. I've worked with the Wounded Warriors for 8 years. I've worked with all of the branches, 40 or so swim camps and clinics, became SOCOM's head coach 6 years ago, done 6 Warrior Games with them, and twice was asked to be a Team USA coach for the Invictus Games. I also work with our intellectually impaired athletes, those with IQs of 74 or lower, on the autism spectrum, or that have Down syndrome. And through that work, was also asked to coach Team USA at their World Championships, which are called the INAS Global Games. Grew up swimming, loved it, swam in high school, and then swam for the University of Georgia, go Dogs. And I've actually competed in masters swimming a few times, garnering a few state records, a couple national titles at YMCA Nationals, and I have a couple top 10 medals from world championships. So that's my background and history.
So when you're swimming, there's a couple different concepts that are the same throughout all the strokes. One of them is your head position. You want to have a body alignment that is more or less fairly straight. You don't want your head up here or down here. When you're swimming on your front, you kind of want your head to be at a 45-degree angle. So we don't swim like this, and we don't swim like that. You can look ahead a little bit, but you want your neck to be fairly straight in alignment. Your body position in the water should be balanced. You're like a seesaw. If your head comes up, your feet go down, and all of a sudden your whole body is pressing against the water and pushing against it. You want to be flat in the water. Again, that's where that alignment comes in. So in order to do that, you want to float. And I like to say you have to sink in order to swim. Sink down into the water and let it hold you up, and then you just go forward. You don't need to try to swim up. You need to try to swim straight. The other part of this with the alignment is when you rotate to breathe on freestyle, you want to keep your head in alignment. So a lot of people will take a breath and look like this. This is up and down, which is what you're used to doing on a daily basis, and that's why a lot of people do this, because they're used to looking at things up and down. We actually rotate to the side, keeping all this in line, and keeping this down flat. On your freestyle, we're actually on all 4 strokes. Your hand position is basically looking like this. So we're not cupping like ice cream scoops that little kids learn how to do. And you don't have to keep your fingers completely tight. It's relaxed. Everything's always relaxed. Shoulders, hands, everything. Your entry is going to be about like this. This is freestyle. This is backstroke. This is breaststroke. This is butterfly. Okay? This is what you're going to grab the water with. You're pushing and pulling on the water from your fingertips to your elbows. All of this you're using for your strokes. Freestyle, fingers go down, elbows go out, and you're pushing the water back. The basic premise is if you want to go in one direction, push the water in the opposite direction. So you're not doing a full sweep around because this is pressing the water down. And you want to press the water back. So notice, if I'm in alignment and swimming, my entry is out here, not here. It's out here. And then watch my elbow as my hand goes down. It turns out, and I'm pressing the water back. Entry, catch. This is your catch. Backstroke. Entry, catch. Right? Butterfly. Entry, catch. Breaststroke has the catch, but you don't have to enter the water because it just stays on the underwater plane, but it's still your out sweep, catch. So you have your entry, you have your catch, you have your pull, then you have your recovery. Those are the components of your arm strokes. Breaststroke is a different one because it does stay underwater. There's no entry, but again, it's the catch, the pull, the recovery. When you're swimming, you always want to have your hands leading you down the pool. So you're going to have a hand out here in freestyle, hand out here, reach and lead, reach and lead. Butterfly is the same thing, reach and lead. Backstroke, you're going backwards, but your hand is still here. Pull, catch, pull, entry, catch, pull. Okay? So those are your arm techniques for the different strokes. Kicking should be mainly straight leg from the hips. So you're going to kick in a relaxed fashion. You see a lot of people try to kick like this, and you're really trying to kick your legs, and it's jerky. It's almost like a whip from your hip through your knees to your feet with very flexible ankles. You don't kick like this. Take your boots off, guys. Kick like this, flexible ankles. Yes, your knees bend, but you're not doing this. That's too much. You're definitely not doing this, but you will see a lot of people bicycling. So your knees bend, your feet do part, a good 1.5 feet, maybe 2, depends on how big you are. Your knees more or less stay together. This is backstroke. If I rolled over on my stomach, that would be freestyle. Butterfly kick is both at the same time. Breaststroke kick looks like a frog. It's a little more difficult. The heels come up to your rear, the toes go out, and you kick around.
So when you're competing, there's 2 main factors that you need to remember. First, you need to remember your breathing that we talked about. Exhale underwater, inhale when you either turn on freestyle, or on backstroke you can inhale whenever you want to. Breaststroke is when you do your pull. You breathe and pull at the same time. Remember to breathe. A lot of people get so excited, they dive in and they're going. About halfway down the pool, they take their first breath and all of a sudden you're just gassed out. You have to keep that oxygen flowing for the energy for your muscles. So you got to remember to breathe and to breathe properly. The second thing you need to do is pace. And I know it seems like just one time down the pool is a full-on sprint, but it isn't. You still need to pace your race. Especially if you're all excited and you've got that adrenaline flowing, let your adrenaline take you down the first part of your race. Get into your comfort zone, your level of pressure on the water, how hard you're kicking, how hard you're pulling. And then halfway through your race, you can kind of determine how much energy you have left and what kind of finish you can have. You want to finish strong. You don't want to start off super fast and just get slower and slower and more tired and more tired. So you have to learn how to pace, and that's where that pace clock comes in practice. You can learn what your different paces are. A shorter race, yes, you can go a little bit faster, turn over with your arms, and you can kick a little bit harder. A longer race, slow it down, stretch it out, save your energy, and make sure that you can come back stronger than when you went out. What I tell people for the 50 freestyle or breaststroke or backstroke, have an explosive start, get in, tight streamline, so you can go through the water really fast. That's your fastest part of your whole race, is your entry point off your start. Use it to your advantage. Then as you get into your race, you can do a little bit faster turnover on a 50, but make sure, especially on breaststroke, you're still gliding just for a touch. Freestyle, you're still keeping your hand out in front while your other one comes around. Backstroke, you're going, but keep that head still in proper alignment. So the 50, you can go a little bit harder, but I would say start off at maybe 85, 90%, and then see what you got left for your finish. On the 100, I always tell people, break it down. If you're in a 50-meter pool, do 50 easy, let that adrenaline take you, make sure you're doing proper form and technique, don't over race it. Then do 25 medium and then 25 hard. And if you can do that, you increase your output, but actually your time kind of stays the same because you're getting tired. So the harder you work, you're still going the same speed, but that's a nice pace. If you can go out, say in 40 seconds, but you can come back your last half in 38 seconds, that is called a negative split. And on longer races, that's actually what you want to do. You want to come back faster than what you went out. On breaststroke, the shorter your race, the less of a glide that you have, but you still always have a glide. When you're doing your pull and you go to the front, your hands need to stay here for just a millisecond until your feet finish their kick before you take your next pull. So if I was doing a 25 breaststroke, it would be super quick, but my pulls would be a little bit shorter and faster, and my kick would be a little bit shorter and faster as well to get that turnover. If I'm doing a 200 breaststroke, I glide so long, literally 2 full seconds. On my first, say 150, I'll take a pull, glide with your head down, and then I'll take another pull, glide, use that kick to get you forward. So if I was racing a 50 breaststroke, I would probably take 12 strokes per each 25. If I'm racing a 200 breaststroke, I go down to 10 or 9 strokes for each 25. That is how I differentiate if I'm going fast or slow. It's the number of strokes, and that's how you learn how to pace. And you need to do that in practice. You can do the same thing with freestyle or backstroke. Number of strokes per length of the pool will determine how fast you're going. So to recap this video, we went over the different basics of swimming, the principles of float. So you got to sink down into the water to swim, your balance, front to back, your alignment with your neck. And when you rotate, you want to kind of keep that alignment when you're taking a breath. It doesn't move on backstroke. And then on breaststroke is when you recover your pull and you kick into that recovery, your head gets back down in your arms. And again, most of the time these days, you don't even have to move your head when you take a breath. You just kind of push your head up and go back down. So balance and alignment, and then you rotate on your freestyle. And then take the water from the front, push it to the back. If you want to go forward, push the water the opposite way. If you want to go sideways to the right, you'd push sideways to the left. And then racing strategies, remember to breathe and pace. I hope you enjoyed the video.